such provocative and unguarded utterances we find a celebrity as Fina making in this video were part of the things that led to her downfall in the recent Dangote VDM and Fina's sister saga. Fina should learn how to talk as a celebrity. No be everything you just dey carry dey talk anyhow. You be celebrity. Now the truth is that some of these things you said are true. Most of the people who perform agbero behaviour in Lagos are Yoruba, but all of them are not Yoruba. Igbos dey, Hausa dey, and other people dey. And as a celebrity, you are careful what you say because things like this can trigger, some things like we call ethnic or tribal, crisis again. You should have been very careful the way you presented your case as a celebrity. Now let's hear her.
Wait, this is getting out of hand. For real. You drive, the moment you stop in traffic, some beggars, boys, Yoruba boys to be precise, they will all surround you, begging you for money, blah, blah, blah. If you don't give them money, they scratch things on your car or they do rubbish. Yesterday, there was a boy that was rounding my car, like a lot of them. And I noticed he removed something from here because immediately I heard it and he ran. I just couldn't feel what he removed, only for me to get home now. And I'm seeing that this is what he removed from my car. I don't understand. They run from police, they run from agbero, they run from Yoruba boys so they beg for road. Are we going to be stopped in traffic light again because some Yoruba boys will come around his or her car? I don't understand. Wetin dey sup Lagos State? Wetin dey sup? Na only Yoruba people dey the state. Wetin dey sup?
The Enugu Smart School project has exploded into one of Nigeria's biggest contract scandals in recent memory, with three powerful players now locked in a messy blame game. One side is Sujimoto Ogundele, the flamboyant luxury developer turned public contractor, now accused of abandoning 11.4 billion naira worth of school projects. On the other is the Enugu State Government, claiming it paid half the money upfront only to get substandard work and empty sites. And then comes the EFCC, the APC bulldog, stepping in with its trademark wanted poster, branding Sujimoto a money launderer and a contract scammer. But behind the headlines lies a deeper story of broken procurement culture, weak oversight, and questionable accountability. Who really failed here? The contractor, the enforcer, or the government that threw billions at one flashy company with little due diligence? This video digs into the contradictions, exposes the hypocrisy, and asks the questions nobody wants to answer. Let's look at the talking points under each party: Sujimoto, EFCC, and Enugu Gov't. Now, let's start with Sujimoto. A mismatch of expertise is what I see here. Sujimoto is famous for Banana Island luxury tours, the type he built for them, Davido and the like. Not mass education projects. Why entrust 22 smart schools in rural Enugu to a luxury real estate company with no proven track record in public infrastructure? It suggests branding over competence. Now, number two, substandard delivery. The government claims schools were poorly built, structurally non-compliant, and manned by inexperienced workers. If true, this is not just incompetence, but gross negligence, especially when children's safety is at stake, especially for somebody who prides himself in building people's dream like Sujimoto. Number three, inflation excuse. Ogundele, that is Sujimoto, cites prices hike as a reason for delay. Yes, inflation hits Nigeria hard, but contracts normally include variation clauses for cost adjustments. Did Sujimoto invoke this formally, or did he simply abandon sites and later hid behind inflation? After all, the project was not supposed to last more than 6 months, and inflation period stretch within 6 months is not supposed to be as bad as he's claiming. Now, let's look at the financial trail. Enugu says 7.5 billion was mobilized Sujimoto's account. Now, how much went to the materials and site labor? How much was held in personal or unrelated accounts? Were funds delivered into the luxury project in Lagos instead of Enugu schools? Pattern of disputes you would have noticed now. This isn't his first controversy. Recall that $325,000 Leonardo apartment dispute with a client in 2024. I guess Nigerians are beginning to think the way I'm thinking now. The impression of a serial contract violator is growing, even if he claims otherwise. Now, let's look at the enforcer, the EFCC, that I call the APC Bulldog. Transparency of process. EFCC quickly declared Sujimoto wanted, but Nigerians deserve to see evidence that he ignored invitations or refused to cooperate. Why just come and throw somebody under the bus to ruin his multi-million naira empire? Otherwise, it smells of trail of media, which EFCC is notorious for, trying to bring people to the media and rubbish them. Number 2, under EFCC, civil versus criminal dispute. At its core, this began as a contract fallout. EFCC must prove it rose to the level of criminal diversion and money laundering, i.e., tracing funds to personal enrichment or laundering networks, not just failed execution. Otherwise, coming to accuse him of money laundering is a very terrible thing. Number 3, selective justice. Critics will ask, why is EFCC fast to chase Sujimoto but sluggish when politicians are named in bigger scandals? Is it because Enugu petitioned aggressively while others shield their own? Professionalism and independence. EFCC risks being seen as an enforcer for political allies. They need to show Nigerians that this is law, not vendetta. By releasing a clear case online, dates, the funds traced, accounts involved. Otherwise, EFCC will continue to be seen as a tool by which government will hunt people that are not complying, to government's whims and caprices. Now, let's look at the Enugu government, the third party in this whole situation. Poor contract structuring. That's the first blame I have for them. Paying 50% upfront on an 11.46 billion naira contract for schools was reckless. Why not milestone-based payment tied to site inspections? That decisions itself involves suspicion of kickbacks or political expediency. If not, you would have said, okay, out of 2 schools, you do 4, we pay you this amount. You do 4, we pay you this amount. But instead, the government preferred to pay half because probably they were expecting some kickbacks. So some people in that Ministry of Procurement or wherever, Ministry of Education and other works and housing should be fired. Number 2 fault I have for the Enugu government is over-ambitious timeline. 6 months for 22 smart schools was politically convenient but technically unrealistic. Did the government set Sujimoto up to fall by demanding impossible speed? After all, he said he told them that it was not possible, but he still wanted the money. Or was it about headline project rather than sustainable planning? Number 3 fault for the government of Enugu, due diligence failures. Why award all 22 schools to one contractor instead of splitting lots across multiple qualified firms? This centralization made the project riskier. One collapse meant total collapse. Number 4, oversight diligence. Government only raised alarm mid-2025 when they could have flagged poor performance in 2024. Where were the engineers, monitoring teams, and internal auditors when 5.7 billion was being disbursed? Everyone I've mentioned now needs to be fired. Accountability deficit. Enugu should release, number 1, full bill of quantities for us to see how all this went. Number 2, signed performance bond between Sujimoto and Enugu State Government, because, for instance, now a bank was supposed to stand for Sujimoto, If it fails, the bank will pay back. But instead of paying into that bank, the government paid into Zenith Bank, which shows that something was wrong there. Number 3, they should give us inspection reports. Since they brought it to the media and social media by extension, let's see social inspection report. Number 4, termination letter. We want to see the termination letter where they say they've given the contract to another contractor. Let's see the termination letter by which the contract was terminated. Without transparency, the government looks like it's shifting blame after bad procurement decision. Now, let's look at the fourth party in the whole of this whole thing, the broader angles for critique. Nigerian public procurement culture, number 1. This saga isn't just about Sujimoto. It's about how government award mega contracts, often to flashy firms with connections rather than competent builders. Just like we saw now that a man registered 4 companies and got contract of over 300 and something billion for police related activities. I'll come to that later. Media spectacle versus justice. The EFCC wanted poster of this man may please the crowd, but Nigerians should ask, will there be a prosecution with evidence or just another headline case? Victims in the middle. The real losers are Enugu's children. They were promised smart schools by September 2025, but instead have abandoned sites, wasted funds, and political drama. Now, I conclude this section by saying, this saga is not just Sujimoto versus EFCC versus Enugu. It's a mirror of Nigeria's broken contracting culture, weak oversight, and politicized anti-war. Do you want me to give you a little bit of fisi, or jara, as we call it in Nigeria? Let me dig deep a little bit and let's look at a compact but rich background on Sujimoto himself. So, who is Sujimoto? His real name is Olasijubomi or Sujimoto Ogundele. He was born in 1981 in Agege, Lagos State. Known for as being the founder and CEO of Sujimoto Construction Limited, and this company was established since 2013. Now, let's look at his rise to fame. Luxury branding. Sujimoto positioned himself as Nigeria's luxury king of real estates. His projects are heavily marked with a flair of excess, glamour, and prestige. I once came across or knew about this man 2024, and the documentary or the interview I watched of him was very captivating. I thought that yes, this guy was going to take Nigeria, and place it on the global map like he's always saying. Another thing, flagship projects. Medici luxury apartment in Ikoyi, followed by the famous Giuliano Banana Island, which housed celebrities and billionaires. And then again, Leonardo Project, a 24-story luxury tower in Banana Island, marketed as Africa's most luxurious high-rise. Buyers were courted with promises of private pools and world-class finishes. So these are some of the things, his flagship project and his other projects we have publicly seen, being marketed on the television. Now, let's look at his business model and controversy. This is where I'll begin to blame Enugu State Government. Were they blind to all these things that I'm about to reveal now? His projects are usually pre-sales driven. Sujimoto often funds projects through off-plan sales. Buyers pay upfront before completion. This model relies heavily on trust and delivery reputation. And it is that reputation that EFCC has spoiled, tarnished by Enugu State Government, that made Sujimoto come to the TV to be crying like a baby. Now, he's also known for his aggressive marketing, known for splashy adverts and PR, comparing his brand to Versace, Gucci, and Ferrari in real estate. And this got many people, including Davido. Now, let's look at his past disputes. This is the most interesting part of it all now. In 2024, a client accused him of failing to deliver a $325,000 Leonardo apartment. The FCID, that is police, got involved. This fed a narrative of overpromising, under-delivering. Yet, Enugu State Government, of all the contractors in Nigeria, decided to give more than or about half, over 6 billion naira to an entity to build 25 smart schools. If this were to be a country where democracy is working, the Enugu State Governor should have been, removed or impeached. Some industry critics claim his projects are more marketing hype than structural substance. And then let's look at the wider ambition of Sujimoto. He is always coming up with expansion rhetorics, frequently promises to take Sujimoto Construction global, with plans in Dubai, Paris, and South Africa. But with this now, let's see where he goes. That was why he was probably crying, because he knew that EFCC had just buried everything. Then let's look at his philanthropy claims. He presents himself as a builder of dreams who supports education and empowerment, which is ironic given the current smart school controversy in Enugu State, where this man and Enugu State Government cheated the children of good schools, 22 schools in 6 months. It's just like saying when Jesus Christ told the people that he will build the temple in 3 days, they knew it was not going to be possible. And in the end, what happened? Jesus was able to resurrect from the dead in 3 days. But Sujimoto is not Jesus. He could not have built 22 smart schools in 6 months. They were joking. Finally, his public persona, flash and flamboyance. He loves dramatic storytelling about his humble beginnings in Agege and rise to millionaire status. He is also media savvy, regularly trends on Instagram and Nigerian business press with bold declaration like, "We build not houses, but monuments." He has built mysterious, Gothic, and phantom monuments now in Enugu State. And the ultimate losers are the children that are supposed to be in the school in Enugu State. Finally, in that regard, divisive reputation that he has. To admirers, he is a visionary builder. To critics, he is a PR genius, masking shaky delivery with his PR stunts, his corporate brand, his effigy, and everything people have come to associate with him that has to do with flamboyance. But at the core of it is a little bit of incompetence, as we have seen in Enugu. And then finally, I conclude by saying, Sujimoto built a brand synonymous with luxury and ambition, but his history shows a pattern of disputes around delivery and execution. The Enugu Smart School scandal is the first time his flashy, high-end businesses have collided with public sector accountability. And it exposes gaps in both his company's capacity and government oversight. Let me know your thoughts are in the comment section. I remain your boy, Ernest Omozokme Adebayo Koje. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Signing out. Peace.